Mainstreet Equity, MEQ. We were looking at this name for a very long time, and it was probably about 2 or 3 years ago that we finally pulled the trigger and invested in the company. And really, what we like about this is a play on providing affordable housing in Canada, and especially they're focused in Western Canada, which is some of the cheaper, lower income housing in Canada. And with the surge in immigration that we've seen over the last few years, it was an obvious way to play that for us. But we just like the fact that Bob has been running this company since, well, he IPO'd in 2000. 25 years he's been running this. He's got a great business model. We really understand what he's doing. We think he's really competent in what he does. And what we always struggled with was the valuation of it, because it was so much more expensive than its peers. But when you realize that, like when most REITs buy a property, they're not really adding a lot of value to that property. Whereas Bob buys them, he always buys underperforming assets. He has his own in-house construction team where they'll redo and renovate apartments themselves and then get a substantial increase in that. He's also got a niche in the market where it's kind of where you have to get your hands dirty to do what he's doing, and pension funds don't want to touch that. The REITs don't want to touch that. There's not a lot of people who want to, and so he's found an interesting niche in what he calls, the mid-market segment in Western Canada. And we actually just love the story. We think it's a great growth story. We just came out with the results this week, and it's growing 24%. Income is growing faster than that. We just think companies like this are out there, and they're just not getting enough attention. I calculated in the 25 years since he's listed, his share count has increased by 4.9% over 25 years. And that's so rare in Canada, to have someone who internally funds things, doesn't always do what we call a drive-by financing, where every time the share price goes up, you get a call on a Thursday, oh, there's a deal out there. It's like, you don't have to worry about that with Mainstreet. And, when we talk about productivity in this country, guys like Bob are guys that we should look to. What's interesting about Bob too is you could argue he's an acquirer, but he acquires assets. He doesn't buy companies. And so it kind of helps the issue that I had with regards to when you acquire companies, you're bringing in all their assets and all their liabilities in, whereas he's essentially just buying doors, as he calls them.